Hello, mate. How's it going? Welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. Really do hope that. Time to get into some Chelsea news. Locked in. Updates from all over the gaff. Maxence Lacroix to Chelsea still on, which would be a massive signing for us, a defender to partner Levi Colwill. Everton agree a deal with Tyrique George from Chelsea. £24 million pure profit for the Chelsea. Can't be bad. You must say it can't be bad for the 20-year-old who, was quite a good utility little winger, but that's good money. Man United, an exclusive from The Guardian, trying to sign Santos. We value him at 50 million quid. How is Santos 50 million, but Gusto is 75? I don't know. We'll learn together, and we'll hop over into Simon Phillips' Substack to learn a little bit about updates regarding ongoing stories, of course, being Granit Xhaka to Chelsea. Will we return for a second bite to please the Chelsea manager or not? Nizar Kinsella of the BBC said we would, but I'm not so sure. And Enzo Fernandez, priced out of a move. Surely he's got to sack his agent, Javier Pastore, who's been talking too much. Heck, Enzo was talking too much, wasn't he? He was too much Hada Madrid, twerking for paella, and now we are here. So anyway, it's going to be a great piece of content today here on Football Therapy, and I'm delighted to have you with me. So thank you for liking the video and subscribing on YouTube, because I'm going to be grateful to have you along the good ship Football Therapy. And if you do listen in podcast format, head over to Football Therapy Podcast on Apple Pods and Spotify. Give us a follow and a 5-star rating. Let's get into it. So we are going to need to rebuild this defence, and Maxence Lacroix is still on, so say Fabrizio Romano, aggregated here on X by the Blue Dodger. I'm told behind the scenes, Chelsea are maintaining active contacts for Maxence Lacroix. Two important things: the price, because Palace is still asking for big money. Unsurprising there, Steve Parish, and of course they want a replacement, but the deal remains on. The conversations are on, and we have to track. Yeah, this is really good. Maxence Lacroix is a France international, currently away with the French national team. Not starting games because, of course, Saliba and Upamecano and whatever. But he is on a wonderful trajectory in his career. He's 26. He's in the form of his life. He's winning trophies. I mean, Elise left and became this absolute superstar. I know he's a bit younger. Maxence Lacroix is 26. He's a grown-up, but he's entering his prime. And dare I say, he would be a really excellent partner to Levi Colwill. He knows what lifting trophies is like. He's lifted 3, if you count the Community Shield of Crystal Palace recently. It's more than Chelsea have recently, so I think it would be an excellent signing. I think all Chelsea, not all, but certainly most of Chelsea fans are aligned with this potential transfer target. I actually would be very, very excited if we sign Lacroix. I think he'd probably be up there, one of my main preferences in terms of who I'd want to sign as a centre-back. Certainly one that's available and one that wants the move. So very pleased with that. Of course, I'll keep close tabs on it. Moving on then, let's talk a little bit about this deal. We need money, we need sales because we have no Champions League. And we are in tight UEFA restrictions with an agreement with them. So £24 million pure profit after getting, 20 million pure profit from the Maresca severance deal or whatever it is. Not severance, but the pay that Man City had to pay. The man himself, Maresca, had to pay us some money. So we're getting finances from elsewhere, and £24 million, Great British pounds sterling. Actually pretty good money for Tyrique George. We've agreed a deal, writes Simon Johnson and Patrick Boyland of The Athletic. £18 million with 6 million add-ons. So slightly less. The total, instead of the £25 million buyout clause that originally was from his loan deal, it's £24 million. So it's £1 million less. But the structure of the deal is more favourable. So I think it's only 18 million up front, where I imagine the buyout clause, the option to buy clause, was just 25 million. Just give us £25 million and you have him. Now it's like, no, you give us £18 million now, which is 7 off the bat, a lot less, which is, significant money for these teams. Everton, £7 million less. If he does really well, you give us an extra 6, but that's, the ball's in your court. He has to play well to generate that. And then ultimately, if you do pay that, you're paying 24 million quid for a very good young player. He's still only 20 years old, and that probably suits all parties. Tyrique George, of course, is a winger, can play both sides. He can also play as a striker. No, he can't. But Maresca played him as a centre forward. Kind of got lost in the wash a little bit. I forgot about him. Tyrique George. We've got loads of wingers coming in and out. Giovanni Kenders. We've got Yushdevaus. We've got Gittins, who's still very, very young. He's like 21 himself or something. Garnacho, who I don't want to speak for you, but we sort of hope maybe we'll get purchased by like a Roma or something. There's loads of young players, and we've got, young wide players coming through the academy. A couple that are really good. Jesse Derry, of course, is a massive one as well. So the road is blocked for him at Chelsea. So to get this huge pure profit deal to slam onto the books, it's great. We'll make a few more sales along the way. I mean, in terms of, if we sell him, Chalobah, maybe even a Toast, and the amount of pure profit Chelsea can generate in so they can buy and amortise new signings, transfer signings, would be pretty big, man. So, look, he's a good talent. He's probably not good enough for Chelsea's first team, but we wish him all the best. He's a good young professional. He is a talent, and I hope he does do really well. Apparently, there's a sell-on clause as well. I'm not sure if it's being reported here in this particular article from The Athletic, but I think it's like a 15% sell-on clause, which is significant. Anything over 10 is pretty darn good. So if he does really, really well for Everton, say, and scores a bunch of goals and friggin' Man City or just around at Liverpool, or actually he's not going to go to Liverpool from Everton, but like a Bayern Munich suddenly pop up from somewhere and pay 50 million, we get an extra few quid from that. So pretty good deal from Chelsea. 24 million pounds pure profit banked from a player that's not being used. Now, speaking of a player that's not being used, but perhaps a lot of us would want to be used, you have to check out this exclusive from Will Unwin on The Guardian. Manchester United target Andrey Santos, but Chelsea value the midfielder at 50 million. I'm surprised we don't do it more. Considering his season at Strasbourg when he was captain, scoring all those goals, positionally versatile in terms of the midfield. He can play CDM, really can play like number 10, number 8, number 6. And also, he captained the Brazil under-20 team to the championships, the international championship, the under-20 teams, and was top scorer and best player. I mean, his ceiling is very, very high. I'd say much higher than Gusto. Maybe the market's more loads of midfielders are on the market and not right backs, so they value Gusto more. Let's have a look. Man United are targeting Chelsea midfielder Santos, who is valued in the region of £50 million, after missing out, Man United, on Anderson Fernandez. Mateus Fernandez, of course, went to Tottenham with Tonali. Insane money they're spending over there. United were forced to look elsewhere under Carrick. Bournemouth Alex Scott is also of interest. He'll cost a lot of money, though. To the club's hierarchy, the Brazilian is behind Caicedo and Fernandez at Stamford Bridge, but how long is Enzo Fernandez going to be at Stamford Bridge? And the Blues need to bring in funds to aid their new head coach Xabi Alonso's ambitions to strengthen. Santos is open to leaving Stamford Bridge to get more regular minutes with his path blocked by Caicedo. Yeah, I mean, they're do they play the same role? Well, I'd argue, I'm not entirely sure. Who recently signed a contract extension. Newcastle are also monitoring the situation as they seek a replacement for Tonali, who will join Tottenham. I do wonder if Andre would like to go to United, purely because he'll have a phone call with one legend called Casemiro, who's recently played in the midfield. He's just left for left Man United. Where's he going? Oh, isn't he going to Inter Miami? He'll probably be able to get on the phone to him, Brazilian teammates, and be like, should I go and play in the Man United midfield? He'll probably say, yes, they'll give you lots of money, mate. And they're in the Champions League and Chelsea aren't. I mean, I wouldn't hold it against Santos going to Man United. I was more like, and remain a little bit more twitchy about Mason Mount, just because of the sort of love that we gave him. I know he's a Pompey fan and he's not a Chelsea fan, Mason Mount, and I'm not going to keep rehashing this. But, we like projected that love of he's one of our own onto him, and he was like, right, I'm off to defect to the blue to red, south to north. Santos, he can do what he wants, you know. He just hung about. He's tried to get in the team. He doesn't really owe us anything apart from, you know, just he goes where his career takes him, you know. United will return to the Champions League, of course, and have identified the midfield area as an investment, of course. They signed Edison from Atalanta for 35 million, but it's been delayed, of course, the World Cup stuff. There's a shortage of midfield. They've got Ugarte. He's pretty pony, though. I don't know why it's not talking about Casemiro leaving. Santos, he's only 22 still, moved to Chelsea from Vasco da Gama for £18 million, 1.8, pretty cheap. In 2023, he had a poor 6 months at Forest, a good 18 months at Strasbourg, and he's made 27 appearances in the Premier League last season. It's not awful, is it? Just in the league, 27 for a young player. He's not on Carlo's World Cup squad. He was originally, but then again, Carlo's lost his mind and also not called up João Pedro, which is mental. I mean, it works for Xabi Alonso in Chelsea, not for João Pedro, though, and probably not for Brazil. He hasn't called up Andrey, which is fine, I guess. He would have called up Estevao because he was the top scorer under Ancelotti, but of course, the injury had prevented that. Chelsea are interested in signing, of course, the experienced midfielder Granit Xhaka, but have so far been rebuffed by the Black Cats, which we are about to get into. Firstly, though, let's talk about Andrey Santos. I mean, I wouldn't sell him. It really depends, because we have to look at everything through a whole new lens now. It's not, oh, who's your favourite player in the squad? Oh, he's a good young player. Oh, you know, do we strengthen rivals? We really have to just look at ourselves. And if we truly, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying this with my chest, if we're truly changed, if the period of self-reflection is real, if we are now backing a manager, which I'm not sure we are with the whole Granit Xhaka flop situation, but say we are, right, no more head coaches, manager. No more, you know, underqualified Xabi Alonso. No, we're going to see how he wants to build the team, right? And if he's like, right, we're going to play my 3-box-3 formation, you have a double 6 and you have a double, like, sort of 10s. People sort of say 8s, but let's say 10s. The 10s are going to be like, you know, Cole Palmer, right? Maybe Estevao, because he wants to play as a 10. So you've got two amazing options there already. We want to sign someone. We want to sign someone like Morgan Rogers, but he wants Arsenal and he was priced out. But there you go. They're the two kind of players. Let's just say we, as a magical world where we get our guy. Morgan Rogers, the left 10, or as you view it, left 10. Cole Palmer on the right. You know, amazing two options there. Then you got your double 6. Now, Caicedo will be 1, and then you partner him. Is Santos the right double 6 partner? Now we're getting into the conversation we should be having. Because there's probably a team of people at Chelsea go, Santos is a great player, but maybe he's more of like a number 8. He's a box crasher. He's a goal scorer. He's probably slightly closer to like an Enzo Fernandez, who might not be perfect for this system. Oh, Enzo Fernandez will probably have to be brought back into the double 6 for his passing, maybe? I don't know, because he's not like a floating playmaker number 10, really, is he? In terms of what we'd expect from this particular Xabi Alonso system. So maybe they're thinking Santos as good as he is, right? Like he's not like fitting the system, fitting the philosophy. And if we get 50 million quid from him, like way more than double our money for him, nearly treble our money for him, maybe it works. I saw Alex Goldberg, a friend of mine, chatting about Lavia and Santos. He said, if I could sell one, I'd sell Lavia, not Santos. Lavia is a fascinating player. Obviously, he's sort of annoyed everyone because he's just never available, which is not his fault. I mean, I'm sure he'd love to be playing football. He's just injured. So if anything, he should have our sympathy, but football doesn't work that way. You get angry at them for not being available. Lavia is a really talented player, and he would suit the double 6 more than Santos. I'd say that. If you put Lavia next to Caicedo, if they were completely fit and firing, Caicedo and Lavia would work better in that particular defensive pivot over Caicedo and Santos. Of course, you can't sell Lavia right now as well because no one trusts his fitness. It would suck because he's a great player and he might actually... It won't be a Mason Mount like laughing at your opposition players because he's like their Lavia. He's never available, Mason Mount. Like, they spent £60 million on Mason Mount. I think he'd one year left on this deal or something crazy. That's something crazy. And he's just not really made a dent, has he, Mount, at Man United for years. So I don't think that would be the case with Santos. I think Santos goes into that team and immediately makes them better and starts. It's a tough one. There'll be some Chelsea fans that go, if they made 50 million for Santos, a player that might, how can you say no? He's not an untouchable. He's not a Cole Palmer. He's not an Estevao. He's not a Joao Pedro. He's not a Caicedo. He's not a Levi Colwill. He's not a Reece James. 50 million quid for a guy that might not even be a starter. It's real tough, man. It might happen. All right, then. Let's go to Cy Phillips' Substack. Sources: Chelsea could return for Granit Xhaka, but it's massively unlikely after second low bid rejected. Ooh, because the Athletic said it was only that first £8 million bid. Cy Phillips writes, as reported at the time, Chelsea's second offer was around 10 million. So they did go up by about 2 million. Really backing the manager there, guys. Really showing him you believe in him there, Chelsea. However, some sources believed it would have reached around 12 to 13 million with add-ons. I mean, with fair add-ons. Hold on, that's not 13 million quid for a 34-year-old. He wears number 34 in his shorts, I'm just seeing now. He's about to turn 34. 13 million. Come on. I mean, if he wants to go, that's not fair. They paid £13 million for him last summer in a deal that could go up to 17. So this £17 million base fee communicated to Chelsea if they wanted to make him about doing a deal. So they were using this. So yeah, so they paid 13 going to 17, but they want the 17 back. But the truth is, I don't think they ever paid 17. Sunderland told Chelsea they would ideally be looking for £30 million base fee. Yeah, I bet you would be, mate. I did say before he could be invaluable to Chelsea, maybe, but then also he could also be not valuable at all. He's a real weird transfer target in terms of you just don't know. You just literally the manager wants him, and he had a good season last season, which is a pretty strong selling point, but still. They want £30 million base for Xhaka, but the 17 to 18 million could start negotiations. So they've massively highballed, we've massively lowballed, and it's just such a difficult deal to do. Meaning that somewhere in the middle of that 30 million may end up getting a deal done for Chelsea, and still might, although massively unlikely due to Chelsea not having any interest in paying that much for a player who turns 34 in September. I believe a base fee of around £22 million with some add-ons might be enough to get this done. That's too much. That feels too much, though. I'd say 15 going to 20. Because they talk about that base fee of 17 to 18. I'd say, look, 15 million quid up front, 5 in add-ons, get the F away. Yeah? Because you don't want... You don't want to spend all your beautiful saved up Tyrique George pure profit money on a guy who might be done in like 12, 13, 14 months. He might be cooked. And for that sort of similar money, you know, someone like Everton are getting a 20-year-old that could become amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know context is key in these transfers, but it seems kind of crazy. Chelsea were reluctant to move for Xhaka anyway, but they agreed to because of Xabi Alonso. So Chelsea went in with a very low offer, £8 million, which Sunderland saw as an insult. I can understand that. This immediately made negotiations very awkward, which would only hindered things. Even still, Sunderland was still picking up the phone to Chelsea, so the door wasn't closed. However, it looks like the two sides are so far away from an agreed fee. Yeah, I don't think it's dead in the water, and as time goes by, I don't think I'm necessarily going to have my heart broken by not signing Granit Xhaka, but it would be a nice... I feel like a little bit in awe that we've got Xabi Alonso. I don't want to lay it on too thick for too long, but I do think it's such an amazing touch we got this guy. And even if we can just give him a little gift like, here, sire, thank you for joining us. Here it is your favourite Granit Xhaka, just the way you like it. Do you know what I mean? We can't even Granit Xhaka him, you know? Come on. Yeah, I'll kind of take it both ways, as long as we do keep him happy, and as long as he is happy with the squad he starts with, because you don't want to start this relationship off on a negative course. Graham Potter, the massive project manager who was supposed to be here for 7 years, and they paid loads of money to get him out of Brighton, lasted 7 months. The next one was Liam Rosenior, the similar vibe. He lasted like no time at all. We're literally going to upset this guy before he's even coached a game for us. And he is the Galactico coach. He is the big win. So keep him happy. Boom. Let's talk about Enzo Fernandez to end then. Sources. Enzo Fernandez being priced out of a move so far. There he is. Yep. This is what's happening. Cape Verde nearly knocked you out, mate. Let's read. Enzo Fernandez's dream move to Real Madrid looks all but over, perhaps not yet completely over. The Real Madrid have gone to extreme and rare lengths to publicly rule themselves out of a move to sign Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea this summer. A statement from an opposition person. Why? An unusual statement coming out in favour of Chelsea. It seems like a recurring theme. But they also did the same for David Beckham right before they signed him. One for the teenagers. It could be a tactical ploy to attempt to sign Fernandez still, or just genuinely be the club's ruling themselves out. It was a response to Fernandez's agent speaking out all the time. And about talks with Real Madrid, something they're denying through the media now and publicly. Also a response to Chelsea's high price tag for Fernandez. So it's just like everyone shut up kind of vibe, you know. Sources understand that Real Madrid have no intentions of paying £120 million asking price. Yep. Further to this, we have now heard that this asking price is firm and fixed asking price. Chelsea will not budge on the fee. They're essentially pricing Fernandez out of a move with this stance. You can't really argue. If Fernandez can't really argue either. Because you could, I know he's upset with Chelsea and wants to leave, but they could just sit him down and go, look, mate, we paid £106 million for you. Since you've gone on to stay in the Argentina first team, you've won the Club World Cup with us, you've got better in the Premier League in terms of goals and assists, what do you expect us to do? Lose money on you? Like, it's hard for him to argue with that. Elliot Anderson, see that kid over there? He's gone for 120 million. Wirtz over there. Isak over there. They're all going for this money. So why should we lose money on you? Like, I'm not agreeing with it. Enzo Fernandez, the fact that he wants to go, I'd probably flog for like 90 million. Still be a big book profit. But Chelsea are well within their rights to say that. You know. Look around, mate. Just because you want to fricking do one, why should we get mugged off? And this is being mugged off because we have all these evidence around us. You silly little knobber. It's a stance that could end up changing later in the window on Enzo. Maybe we've got all our business done and we make a bit of dinero. We're sitting pretty and everyone's happy and he's just got sulking around. Then maybe, I don't know. Depending on what the player does, his camp have been adamant they will get their move away from Chelsea this summer. Because as they see it, it's become untenable for Fernandez to stay. Chelsea, though, are leaving the door open to him staying and say they're happy with him in the squad. And they are not desperate to sell him. Again, this could be a tactical ploy for now on Chelsea's side, but it might not yet be over for Real Madrid. And Fernandez, although it's looking like it's a very tense situation. Also, his wife or girlfriend, who, by the way, she's very nice. She was interviewed by probably El Chiringuito. I'm way too old to be talking about women in their 20s like that. She said, like, I'm very happy in Inglaterra. My son was there. He goes to school there. Some PR people has been area. Don't talk about Madrid. Don't talk about leaving Chelsea. I'm very happy in England. My son was born in England. He goes to school there. Good. Don't say anything else. Chelsea and Real Madrid have held talks over Fernandez and the fee, and even Fabrizio Romano reported Fernandez was one of the midfielders on the list this summer. It's strange that their whole interest is now being played down for some. Jose Mourinho has been keen on Fernandez, understanding that the price is too much, though. Arsenal made an inquiry. This is what we spoke about yesterday. To Chelsea for Fernandez in a short time back. At this moment, the player turned down the player turned down these advances. he was set on Real Madrid. Arsenal also scoffed at the asking price by Chelsea and said they would not pay that. Good. I would not sell to Arsenal for anything. Simple. It's unclear whether they'll come back for Fernandez and open for a move there. I reckon Arsenal have got more money to play with. Now, they'd pay that kind of money, but I think they'd drop it on a left winger like Bradley Buckler or someone that looks like. And fair Fs, man. Arsenal have won the league. They got to the Champions League final. They make lots of revenue. They can do it. Sadly, this is just where we are. PSG and Manchester clubs have also been mentioned with potential interest still. I think United would look more to a Santos than a Fernandez, even if City now looks unlikely to. Again, I wouldn't sell to City or Arsenal. It's all now on Fernandez and what he wants to do. At this point, we have been told that he's not in a mental state to return to Chelsea. So I have no idea how this one plays out. Will he push for a move? Will he go AWOL? Thibaut Courtois. Is he going to do a Thibaut Courtois? Publicly make a statement, which players do. Julian Alvarez did it recently, didn't he? Or will go the other way and make a public statement of intentions to stay at Chelsea and fight for the team. I wouldn't rule any of that out. But I also know that he is desperate to leave Chelsea this summer. He may be priced out of it. He also might think about getting a new agent. Yeah, Javier Pastore ain't done him any effing favours, has he? It's all a very frustrating situation for Fernandez and his camp, but as we've seen before, they know how to push for a move if they really want it. Yeah, he is one of those guys, sadly. And they're used to these sagas dragging out. But if no club plays out, Chelsea do not reduce the asking price, then Fernandez will be forced to stay at Chelsea for at least another season. Truth is, he has got such a long contract left, and he loves playing football. He will hate being out on the sidelines, essentially. I think that if we say, no, you're not going anywhere, mate, we're not going to bomb squad you, we'd love you to play. Obviously, if you don't play, you get fined. If you refuse to play, you get fined. Which you'll probably hate because he's already lost that 20% pay bonus from no Champions League. And if Xabi Alonso says to him, again, Spanish-speaking midfield great, do you want to play in this fun football team? He might be like, yeah, sod it. And then maybe he does get his new contract that he did want for a while. And maybe there's still a bit of that because he wants more money. And they were around the table for ages. He wasn't just like for ages, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave. He was like, I want a new contract, I want a new contract, I want a new contract. Now he's like, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave. So maybe, there is a world where everything works out. But like I said earlier in the content, I still think maybe other midfielder profiles would be more suitable for Xabi Alonso's football. But what do I know? We'll wait and see. Let me know your thoughts. Please do leave them down in the comment section below. I'll be delighted to have them. Thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube, for following and 5-starring on your podcast apps by searching Football Therapy Podcast. And other than that, I'm out, man. Peace.